Hey guys, it's Lenny. Today I'm very excited about doing this video because I'm going to be sharing with all of you my contour corsets by Fran. I did share this corset with all of you a long time ago in one of my videos, but I didn't get to really talk about it. I didn't review it, and I didn't even get to put on the corset. So today I'm doing this whole video just geared specifically to this custom-made corset. So like I mentioned, this corset is from Contour Corsets. It's by Fran. And this specific corset is the Summer Mesh Under Bust Corset. Now, how did I find out about Fran and about this specific corset? Well, I first found out about Fran through a YouTube channel. Her name is Honey, and her actual YouTube channel is called Trolls Need Hugs. I will actually go ahead and include the specific video under the information bar of this video. You guys want to check out the actual video that I saw. Came across Lucy's Corsetry. In Lucy's YouTube channel, she actually reviewed this exact corset. Not exact because the measurements obviously are different, but the same color. I think the only thing she did different on hers is the lace. When I contacted Fran, I actually told her that I wanted the exact same colors as Lucy's corset. She mentioned in her video that she picked this color because she wanted it to kind of match and blend with her skin tone. And I figured it was a great idea for me as well because I am naturally tanned, and it would be a good idea just to have a corset that kind of sort of blends in with my skin tone. And I loved her corset, so I'm like, you know what, I want one just like hers, except that her laces I think are like grayish and mine are actually like a cocoa brown color, so it kind of blends in with the rest of the corset. Before I put on the corset, I'm going to use a measuring tape in order to measure my natural waistline. My natural waistline is 28 inches. One thing that a lot of you need to understand is that doesn't matter whether you are thin and you eat healthy or you are a little bit overweight. If you have broad ribs, if your ribs are wide, that has nothing to do with dieting and being very skinny. So the reason why I am waist training is because I want to train my lower rib, my floating rib, in order to give me a more curvier shape, which I don't really have. Whether I have a super flat stomach or not, it's not a matter of fat, it's a matter of bone. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put on my corset. So this is what it looks like open. This is what it looks like. Okay. Okay. I'm going to center it a little bit more, and now I'm going to close the zipper. Okay, now before I tighten it, I have to make sure that it's placed properly on the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to make sure this is centered, and I'm going to pull. Now I did have breakfast and I'm a little full still, so I'm not going to close it all the way. I'm going to leave this gap right here. I would say it's about a 2-inch gap, maybe more. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what the front looks like. Going to close it. Okay, and that's it. I love the shape that this corset gives my waist because it's just so curvy, and I feel like it's really going to give me the compression that I need in order to achieve the results that I'm looking for eventually. Okay, so now that I have the corset on, I'm going to measure my waist again to see how much I was able to cinch in my waist. Now, one of the things that I do is I follow Fran's cycle method, which tells you that you're supposed to waist train depending on your body. We don't always feel the same. We don't always weigh the same. There are times, that time of the month, when we're a little bit bloated, when you eat and your stomach feels very bloated. Like right now, I ate, I'm full, so obviously I can't completely close in my corset because I feel full. And I noticed that when I'm full and I tighten my corset a lot, I get a lot of acid reflux. So anyways, you have to just go ahead and listen to your body and tighten it depending on the day, how you feel, how your body is. So you don't want to force yourself, and you do not want to feel any pain. So anyways, I'm going to measure my waist right now to see how much. I naturally have a 28-inch waist, and I'm going to measure it at the curviest section. And you guys really can't see from there because of the angle of the camera, but I'll let you know. It is about 26 inches and 2 lines. Okay, so pretty much if you want to round it, it's 26 inches. So I was able to cinch in my waist 2 inches. Okay, I usually can go in more, but not right now. Maybe later on in the day, 2 hours after I don't feel as full. Now, some of you have asked me, why did I get a custom-made corset? Now, the reason why I decided to get a custom-made corset is because custom-made means it's made specifically for your body type. So one of the things that I had to do when I contacted Fran is I had to send her my measurements. Now, I have never ever bought a custom-made corset before. So honestly, I didn't know what in the world I was doing. However, Fran is very detailed on her website. One of the things she mentions is for you to tie a belt. She even gives you the exact measurement of how wide and thick the belt needs to be. You tie it on your waist, the curviest side of your waist, and then from there on, you take a measuring tape. And you have to do different types of measurements. You're supposed to measure from the bottom of your breast to the top of the belt, and then from the belt to the bottom as low as you want it to go when you sit. And you have to measure from the belt, the center of the belt, to the top of the bottom of your arm, and then from the belt to the bottom, depending on how long you want it. Now, when I did my measurements, I did contact Fran back and forth, and she contacted me back because she noticed that I did not know what I was doing. I sent her measurements that didn't make sense. I guess I measured myself and I wanted a corset that was too short, and she mentioned that it wouldn't come out proper. So instead, because I didn't know what I was doing, she suggested that I send her a picture of myself in bra and underwear with the measuring tape standing next to her door for her to have an idea of the actual measurements, and send her pictures of me measuring my waistline, measuring each section that she mentions on her website. And I'm glad I did that because, like I said, I did not know what I was doing. I was trying to make my corset too short. And the reason why I was making that mistake is because with my past experience from off-the-rack corsets, I've had issues with corsets pinching me and cutting through my skin when I sit, or pushing my breast up and giving me that kind of implant feel. And I also had issues with it being too tight or pinching me in different areas, and I was so scared of that I was making the mistake of giving her the wrong measurements. So in order to avoid giving her the wrong measurements, I accepted her idea of sending pictures. Fran is very professional, so you don't have to worry about sending pictures of yourself in your bra and underwear. She's very discreet, very professional, so I had no second thoughts about doing that, and I'm glad that it worked out and I have the perfect corset. There are lots of benefits when you compare an off-the-rack corset and a custom-made corset, and that's exactly what I want to go ahead and talk about. I want to mention the benefits of getting a custom-made corset versus getting an off-the-rack corset. Now, one of the main benefits of having a custom-made corset specifically for you instead of an off-the-rack corset is that you're not going to have issues with the corset lifting your breast. I'm sure all of you out there who have bought a corset from a store online or a random store, you've had the issue where maybe you have a short torso like me. I'm short, I'm only 5'1", and my torso is not long. I don't have one of those beautiful long torsos like the Victoria's Secret models. So the off-the-rack corsets tend to be geared for people with long torsos, which it's not what I have. So when you have a corset that's too long for you and you sit down, you get what I consider the implant effect, where your boobs, I mean, I don't have big breasts as you can see. So imagine, if I have that issue, imagine a woman with medium size or large breast. So I feel like my breasts are just like up here and it just feels awkward and it's very bothersome. The other issue you have with off-the-rack corsets is that it's so long at the bottom that when you sit, it pinches you on your leg and it's very uncomfortable. Now with this one, I do not have that issue because Fran used my specific measurements in order to avoid that bothersome feeling on the top and the bottom. And you don't have to remove inches when you're measuring from your waist to the bottom of your breast because Fran does this curvy side, I'm sure you guys can see it, in order to accommodate your breast. I mean, not that I need a lot of accommodation because there isn't a lot to accommodate, but for women out there who have big breasts, you don't have to worry about having the weird lifting effect. Now, another issue that you will notice with off-the-rack corsets is the boning. They tend to be very uncomfortable and they tend to pinch. Now, this corset, as you guys have already noticed, it's very firm, it's very heavy duty. The boning is not the type that's going to stick out. I have a corset where one of the bonings actually is sticking out and I can't wear it because it really bothers my skin. This one has stitching, so it can't come out from the actual corset. So you're not gonna have the bothersome feeling of a boning bending in too deep into your stomach or coming out of the corset. That's not the case, at least not with Fran's corsets. I don't know about other custom-made corsets. This is my first and only custom-made corset. And this one is very high quality, very heavy duty, very firm. I really don't see myself having any issues with the boning because it's such a well made corset. Another thing that I love about this custom-made corset that I do not see in off-the-rack corsets is that in this part where my stomach is, it's very firm. It has bonings. And these bones on the front part of the corset around the zipper on the right and the left side are very, very firm. And so they give you that washboard look. When you wear off-the-rack corsets, you don't have that firm bone or boning on either side. And so sometimes your stomach could look like it's bulging out a little bit, especially if you are more on the heavy side, if you have a bigger stomach. You want to have that extra support in the front in order to give you good posture and a nice washboard feel. This contour corset is made of a gold poly mesh. This material is perfect for the summer, and that's the reason why I ordered it in this material. The reason why it's perfect for the summer and the very hot weather is because it has little holes which allow your skin to breathe. Therefore, it's not going to feel hot and you're not going to be sweaty and sticky like you might feel with other corsets. My favorite part of this corset are the bones on the side. These already came bent in, which is why it gives you such a curvy look when you wear this corset. And I feel it's the perfect corset to help me compress the areas that I want to in order to have permanent effects eventually.
This corset contains a heavy-duty zipper instead of a busk, and I completely love it. It feels very firm and very strong. This bone is very firm, and this is exactly the part that keeps your abs pushed in and firm. It is double boning, and it contains a total of 29 bones, which is why this corset is so strong. Now the Modesty panel is one of my favorite parts of this corset. As you can see, the Modesty panel is small and firm, unlike the Modesty panels on off-the-rack corsets. The boning in this corset is covered in a cocoa color twill. Beautiful color. Now for the laces, I decided to upgrade to the heavy duty laces, which Lucy also selected for her corset.
So pretty much that's what I wanted to share with all of you about this custom-made corset by Fran. I am completely in love with my corset, and I really cannot talk about the results that I've seen because honestly, I received this corset about, I would say, a year ago, last summer. I used it for a little bit, but I really wasn't waist training with it the way I was planning on. And I just recently, I would say about a week ago, I decided that I'm going to start wearing my corset on a daily basis. I'm just recently trying to train myself to sleep with it once in a while. But if you guys like for me to do a video in depth about how I'm doing my waist training and how many hours I'm using it and all that good stuff, then just let me know and I'll do a second part to this video to actually talk about how I plan on doing my waist training routine. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Don't forget guys to subscribe to my channel, rate this video, and leave your comments or questions down below. Bye guys.